Okay, for this next section, I just want to touch briefly on the idea of using the CAGED system for your modes. And this is really, really handy when it comes to playing through various key changes. And the way I looked at this, or the way I looked at it to start with, was I'd learnt these 5 shapes of the C major scale all over the neck, but that could also be D Dorian, it could also be E Phrygian, it could also be F Lydian, it could be all of the modes that are diatonic to that key. All I had to be aware of was the new root note. So if, say, for instance, I was holding maybe a major 7th chord here, and I wanted to play a Lydian from that point, I would be thinking Lydian is the 4th mode. Lydian is the 4th of E. My nearest possible E is there, it's a C shape. So I would start from the A note and then ascend the rest of the E major scale based around that C shape. Although I'm playing a C shape of E, I'm actually playing a Lydian CAGED shape. It's very important once you start to get the theory down that you then recognise that in its own right as Lydian and not as E major. Relate it to the parent scale, that's how I always think of this. I always relate it to the parent scale. So the next one after, if I was playing the C shape of E, the next one would be the A shape of E, but I'd start from the A note. You can hear I'm phrasing around A to give it that real ethereal Lydian. A real Lydian sound. So I've put together a little bit of an exercise for you to practice. Basically, I'm going to show you 5 modal shapes to start with. The first one is A Dorian, and it is based around the E shape. Okay, and it's basically a D shape of G major. So you should be familiar with this shape by now. 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8. Okay, then play the C shape of G, but start from the A note. And finish on the A. Then play the A shape of G, but start from the A. Then start on play the G shape of G, but start on the A. And then finally play the E shape of G, but start from the A. Now what I have there are 5 modal shapes now to play Dorian with, but as you can see they're exactly the same set of scale shapes that we used earlier on in the DVD when we were looking at the CAGED shapes. What we're going to do now is start from the same root note. And I'm going to play a major 7th chord, followed by a dominant 7th chord, followed by a minor 7th chord, followed by a minor 7 flat 5 chord. Now I've changed key 4 times there. What I'm actually going to do is treat A as my root. I'm going to play Lydian over the major 7th chord. I'm going to play Mixolydian over the dominant chord. I'm going to play Dorian over the minor 7th chord, and then Locrian over the minor 7 flat 5. Now, like I said, I'm just thinking of the parent scale that these modes come from. So A Lydian is going to come from E major. A Mixolydian will come from D major. A Dorian will come from G major, and A Locrian will come from B flat major, because Lydian is the 4th, Mixolydian is the 5th, Dorian is the 2nd, and Locrian is the 7th. I would then do that in 5 fingerboard positions. So here's the first. So A Lydian. Obviously I was using the C shape of E, but starting from the A note. Now I'm going to start from that A note again and play the A shape of D, but phrase around A, and that will give me the sound of A Mixolydian. Start from the same note, but play a G major scale now. Play a G shape of D, but start from the A, it will give me A Dorian. Start from the same note, but play a B flat major scale based around the E shape. B flat, A is the 7th of B flat, so that will give me the A Locrian scale. And then I would move up to the next position. So where I was playing a C shape of E, I would now play an A shape of E to give me the next Lydian position. So here would be A Lydian. Here's the chord. Mixolydian, that would be the G shape of D, but starting from the A. A minor 7th there, which is basically Dorian, so there's the G scale using a C shape, but I play from the A root. And now the minor 7 flat 5, and I'm playing B flat major, so there's the A root, and I play the 8th, 10th, 11th, so D shape of B flat, but I land on the A notes. I would continue that all the way up the neck using the relevant CAGED shape. Just remember to spell the word CAGED. What this will enable you to do is play seamlessly through key changes. You notice then how I could play up A Lydian, down A Mixolydian, up A Dorian, down A Locrian. Now, whereas beforehand, before I understood the CAGED shapes, I would have just played 3 note per string. Now, say, you know, we're not starting everything from the A root. Say, for instance, we are actually, you know, changing key, maybe A Dorian to, you know, C Dorian or something. There, it's going to be important that you're not shifting 3 note per string shapes, because it's not a very musical way to change between scales when you're improvising. So I would make sure that I play the nearest possible CAGED shape and aim to keep my hand in that one position. Okay, you're going to hear a little play-through example of this. I'm going to play through the example twice, and I'm literally just going to play through 4 chords: A major 7th, A 7th, A minor 7th, and A minor 7 flat 5, and I'm going to change seamlessly, hopefully, through each of the modes. I'm going to do it in 2 positions, and then the rest is up to you to find, using the scale shapes that I've already provided, to find the other positions. Also, don't just limit yourself to the modes that I've used as an example. You know, you could use Phrygian, you could use Ionian, you know, you can use Aeolian. Don't feel that you have to use the ones that I've suggested. It's just, those are some particular favourites of mine, and you know, it kind of sounds nice, just flattening, you know, flattening the 7s and then flattening the 3rd and then flattening the 5th. It's quite a musical way of getting through the exercise. You'll then hear another little playthrough, which will just be an example of how we can combine 3 note per string and CAGED shapes to play through changes. We're going to just be going between A Lydian over an A major 7th chord and to A Dorian over an A minor 7th. And I will try to develop little melodies, but try and, again, use this new fretboard navigating skills to try and stay in, you know, small areas when I'm changing key, but then also, you know, shift position, but know exactly where I am when I'm shifting position.